first. We're going to go first.
Shit! You have heard it from Team Invertebrates. They will be going first. Guys, what? Oh, fuck, y'all. I'm just out here doing my best.
Meg, you're doing great.
Thank you. Guys, what's about to happen right now is we are about to hear from our two experts. You're going to hear from our expert from Team Invertebrates, then from Team Vertebrates. This is the time for you to put on your thinking caps and your listening ears. And what I want you to do right now is give it the fuck up. Rapping Team No Bones / Invertebrates, Maureen Berg!
Woo, woo.
How are y'all doing? All right, so to start off, I just want to talk about the concept of inverts, because if you look at the animal family tree, and this is a simplified version, right? You know, just showing like major animal groups or phyla. So the vertebrates are here. That's all. Like the rest are inverts, which is a lot. I mean, so really even like the concept of invertebrates as a group only exists because vertebrates think they're special. And I'm here tonight to tell you that they're not. Don't get me wrong. I like vertebrates, they're cool, right? They're excellent hosts for many invertebrate parasites. It's just of my not so humble opinion, invertebrates are superior. So I'm representing all of the other animals tonight, which is a lot. As you heard earlier, it's like 97, 98% of all animals. And a lot of the times when I talk to people who overlook inverts, it's usually for similar reasons, right? It's usually like, oh, aren't they just like gross and slimy and boring? And I'm just like, nah, bitch, they're not. Okay, if you're slimy, but whatever. So to kind of get y'all warmed up to them a bit, let's just spend a minute talking about how cute they are. Because I think everything's cute, but they're truly adorable inverts. And we're starting off strong with one of my favorite animals, sea slugs.
Yes!
And to everyone's surprise, especially the people in California watching at home, I will not be going into detail about their fantastic adaptations and how some of them are like the Kirby of the ocean and they kind of steal other animals' powers. No. I just want y'all to focus on how fucking cute they are, because look at them. These are, if you don't know, these are the gills, and this is a Pikachu sea slug. You know who else is cute? Jumping spiders. Abso-fucking-lutely adorable, right? And those big eyes aren't just for staring deep in your soul. No. They have excellent vision. It's so good. So if you look at here, if Zach can move out of the way, they're small. They're like 1 centimeter big, and they have as good as vision as cats. Okay, excellent vision, which that's excellent for hunting, but also they're known to chase laser pointers. But look, inverts are also very wholesome. Feather millipedes are dedicated fathers. Okay, they curl their whole bodies around the egg mass to brood them. And I know y'all want to see what the babies look like, and yes, they're really cute. Okay, look at them. Pure souls, all of them. I sometimes also hear like, oh, inverts are bottom of the food chain. Okay, fuck that. No, not all. Plenty of invertebrates hunt vertebrates. So here we have a praying mantis hunting a hummingbird, and boom, fuck that bird.
How dare you? Oh my God.
All right.
Cool.
We have coconut crabs hunting birds. We have giant water balls hunting turtles. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's
All right. Inverts are not weak. They pull their own weight.
all right.
Oh my God. Is that a damn gull? Is that a seagull?
That is. Okay. We don't fuck around here.
Apparently.
I cut the video down, and then there was also another video that was more gruesome, so you're welcome. Anyway, but yeah, inverts pull their weight, okay? Even like, look, the strongest animals are dung beetles. They can carry hundreds to almost 1,000 times their own body weight. Mantis shrimp have the fastest punch. They can punch so fast it creates heat and light. Okay, fuck it. Barnacles have the biggest dicks. Right?
It's true.
Some species have penises that are almost 8 times their own body length.
Oh.
Look, no matter what kind of superlative you look at, I almost showed a video, but I didn't have time.
You can find it on Pornhub. It's a lot.
You can I'll tweet about it later. Yeah, so no matter what kind of superlative you look at, inverts are either at the top or they are strongly competing for the top, which just goes to show you that anything a vertebrate can do, inverts can do it, and they don't need fucking bones to do it.
Oh, shoot.
And honestly, I didn't want to have my whole presentation being this on and just comparing these kind of like who's best at this category between inverts and verts, because sometimes, at least for me, that can be kind of shallow way to look at animals. And also, like, vertebrates are boring, and I don't want to limit myself. So, so I really want to talk about the magic of inverts. And to be honest, I did struggle a little bit with this presentation because it's like, how do I distill inverts down in like a 10-minute talk, okay? This is a group of animals that has been around for hundreds and hundreds of millions of years. They've survived multiple mass extinctions. They thrive in almost every environment. So I reflected on why I like inverts, which, look, yes, they're cute, and that's important. But they're also super fucking weird.
Yes.
And for me, this is kind of the magic of it. Like, this is why me and I know other people get hooked on them. So for the rest of the time, I want to focus on one simple thing to hopefully illustrate this, okay? I want to talk about butts.
Yes.
How dare you?
Yeah. Because if you should see it from the front, wait till you see it from the back. Back, 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 back. This is Doja Cat, sorry. I'm there. Oh.
All right, yeah, so because I think if you just focus on this one thing, you can at least begin to understand the wonderful world of inverts. But this is a competition show, so let's talk about vertebrates for a minute. Here's a vertebrate, right? Sure, you got like a mouth on one end, a butt on the other, you know. Maybe you have a few limbs, right? Sure, no problem with this, but let's be real. You don't really get much more than this. Let's be honest. Could be bigger, could be smaller, but it's not much. That's because bones are limiting. And bones are boring.
Oh, basic.
Let's just talk about numbers of butts first. And you know what? Let's just rapid fire through a few examples, right? Demodex mites live on your face, and they don't have a butt because they don't fucking need one.
What?
There's also some deep sea tube worms that don't even have a mouth or a gut because they just rely on bacteria to feed them, so that's fun. But moving on, comb jellies, beautiful animals. Some of them have what's called a transient anus.
Same.
This is the best. Transient anus.
Which is a butt on demand. Only when you need it.
Honestly,
and you know when you need it.
I have an app that can help me get a butt on demand too. So.
Okay, let's do one more real quick. Marine polychaete worms. So polychaete worms are also known as bristle worms. Oh, hell yeah, worms. They're in the same phylum as earthworms, if that helps. So this is a beautiful animal, beautiful branch body pattern. They kind of grow in sponges, so they kind of grow throughout the sponge. And so, okay, here's the head, and all of these are butts. And so these actually get kind of fun because some of these ends can actually have gonads on them, and they break off from the main worm, they swim away, and they all fuck each other. It's a thing.
It's like House of Yes,
Yeah.
After 3.
Exactly.
It's great. Yes! All right. It's Saturday. I'm sorry.
But okay, that's fun. So we have some interesting body plans. We have different numbers of butts, but let's get a little deeper. Let's talk about function, because I want to spend a little extra time talking about sea cucumbers because their butts are magnificent.
Yes.
Okay, first off, they provide homes for many animals.
Oh.
And I come from the Bay Area where we have a fucked up housing crisis, so I appreciate this a lot. So we have crabs living in their butts. Famously, you have pearlfish living in their butts. Fun fact about the pearlfish, famously, yes, everyone knows this.
This is an argument for them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even butts are providing homes.
Yeah. This fish couldn't exist without inverts.
That is a charitable butt.
Yeah. Anyway, but so the fun fact about the pearlfish is that not all cucumber species have fish living in their butts, and that might be because some of those cucumber species have what's called anal teeth,
Oh, God.
which are thought to prevent butt colonization.
Did you say butt colonization?
Yes,
Okay,
I absolutely
cool. Just
did.
checking.
I absolutely fucking did. Actually, sea cucumbers have a lot of butt defenses. They can also do evisceration, which is where they shoot out these sticky tubules out of their butt at predators. Sea cucumbers are very much about the butt. Let's talk about one more real fast. So sea cucumbers, like a few other animal species, can breathe through their butts, but the giant California sea cucumber can eat with its butt. Okay, that's like bi-directional eating. That's like reverse Lady of the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp. Okay, that's like... I just love this picture 'cause it just looks so. It's just so weird. I don't know. I put this is a better picture. I included this because I just think it's funny.
It looks
Anyway.
like a funky eclair.
It's just the gloves and everything. It's like it's just like just displaying this thing. I don't know. I love it. So you'll love it too. Okay, so that's great. So let's get out of the water though. Let's talk about a few other butts. Let's talk about some arthropods because arguably insects are some of the best studied of the inverts. And so the next animal group that I'm going to talk about, Dustin's actually going to help me introduce them because, like Dustin, I love leaf and plant hopper butts. They're one of my favorites.
It's true.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no!
No shame, Dustin. They're amazing.
No, I love that. It's great.
I know, they're great.
Yeah. You know how I learned about that? Through kangaroos, which are vertebrates.
Yeah.
Which have a similar. Never mind.
So okay, whatever. Okay, so there's like tree hoppers, leaf hoppers, and other hoppers. So I'm going to call them all hoppers tonight for you and also mainly for me because, look, I can get confused too. Okay, so this is a group of insects. And so some of the babies will grow these waxy filaments out of their butt. And they're thought to keep them safe from predators. So here's what they look. Here's one of them. So here's the head, and here's all the butt floof. Hey, we saw that one. That was real. That was there. And so some of them can look like this, where they might be disguised, maybe look like flowers or insects that have been infected by a fungus, so a predator wouldn't want to eat that. Some of them just like dead ass hide underneath it. So this is like ass up. This is like this, and then they're just like hiding. Which, like, to be honest, I wish I could do that.
Did you say tibia honest? Tibia,
No.
like tibia?
To be honest.
Like the bone?
Like the bone, the tibia?
I said to be honest.
Okay, just checking.
Okay.
Look,
I heard
Dustin.
it too. I heard it too.
That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
stretch.
Yes.
Shit.
Look, Dustin, I know your argument's really weak, but like, don't interrupt me with your weak ass shit. Anyway, back to these wonderful animals. So some of them can be pretty demure and modest, and some of them really go fucking wild with it.
Whoa!
But so some hopper babies will actually produce food with their butt to feed other species. So they form these wonderful relationships with ants where the ants will herd them and care for them and keep the predators away and sometimes even physically move them to spaces that have better food sources. And in exchange, the babies will basically poop out this like sugar bubble for the ants to eat. And there's wonderful kind of, I'll show a video in a minute. There's wonderful kind of like evolutionary relationships with this, where like if the species has like relationships with the ants, they'll poop out bigger bubbles, and the ones that don't have relationships with the ants will poop out smaller ones. So the video I'm going to show is actually aphids, which are cousins of hoppers, but for some reason this is a better video. So here's a bubble, and here's all the babies, and it's a little snack. Thanks.
Oh.
So their butts provide food for other species.
Oh.
So let's talk about just one more example. We covered a variety of functions, but we haven't talked about defense. And so there are many animals, inverts who can throw poop away, but the bombardier beetle will have a chemical explosion in its butt and shoot out boiling hot liquids at its attacker.
Oh.
Who among us
Whoa.
has not?
That was good.
Sorry,
Who among us has not had a chemical explosion out of our butt?
I can't deny that. Although it's boiling hot, I would maybe see a doctor. Not me, though.
I'll get it checked out.
Anyway, we have a butt. You can have any inverts can have numbers of butts. They provide home, they eat, they can provide food, they can provide defense. Their butts aren't just limited to pooping. There's lots of functions. And so as we're wrapping up this talk, I want to show you a brief, this is actually an old video. There's newer ones, but I like this one because it just looks really metal. Anyway, so if y'all are familiar with the True Facts web series, so they actually just released a hopper video a few days ago, which is convenient for me. But they make a very specific point that's very brief, and I want to play it here because I think it's worth mentioning. And they're going to show an adult tree hopper in this video, which they have fantastically weird heads, so if you want to Google it later, feel free.
These are truly some of the most varied and delightful creatures, and I love them, especially this one. He's very cute, and it makes me thankful for the scientists and enthusiasts, giants compared to these tiny creatures that some call pests, hunkered down training their macro lenses on leaves, because they're curious.
What?
Yeah, they get really fun. If I had more time, I would have spent all just talking about them. But anyway, so I want to conclude actually by giving some appreciation to the invert enthusiast and scientists, because as I alluded to at the beginning of the talk, inverts are usually unfairly unappreciated, ignored, and sometimes even hated. And honestly, on a grand scale, we don't really know that much about them because a lot of research goes to vertebrates. But despite this, the invert people spend every day learning about these animals and also elevating their perception in the public eye. I mean, even for this talk, many of them gave me their own time and energy to help make this a reality. And here's just a few of them. So,
Oh.
yes, give it up for them.
Yay, scientists. Cool.
So all in all, the inverts themselves are just wonderful, wonderful animals, and the people who spend their time loving them are very kind and generous and special, especially compared to some other communities. Anyway, so they're out there spreading the invert love all day. So if you want to continue to see and experience some invert love, feel free to hop on any of these hashtags, because there's even one dedicated to invert butts, because it gets weirder than what I just talked about. Thank you.
Yay!